दिल्ली और कोलकाता के बीच का ये मुकाबला फाइनली खत्म हुआ, लेकिन काफी ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न्स के साथ। हमने सबसे पहले तो उस मैच के स्टार्टिंग में बारिश देखी और उसके बाद में जिस तरीके से मुकाबला बदलता गया, उसका रिजल्ट हम सबके सामने है। दिल्ली ने फाइनली 2 पॉइंट जरूर जीत लिए, बट ये कितना डिफिकल्ट था उनके लिए, एक एक बॉल पर पता चल रहा था। I'm going to welcome Pratyay and Costa with me on this conversation. Pratyay, I would like to start off with you. दिल्ली का क्राउड एकदम शांत बैठा था। मैंने कभी नहीं देखा कि इस तरीके से फील्ड पर, अगर आप देखो, फैंस दिल्ली के कितने पैशनेट होते क्रिकेट के लिए, बट दे वर सिटिंग क्वाइटली। उनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा था व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। एक एक बॉल इतनी डिफिकल्ट लग रही थी। एक लो स्कोरिंग एनकाउंटर, 127 रन ही बनाए थे कोलकाता ने, बट स्टिल वो उनके लिए काफी डिफिकल्ट था। फाइनली दे गॉट 2 पॉइंट्स, बट दिस डिफिकल्ट, वाज इट द पिच और द माइंडसेट?
Both, a mix of both, I guess, because I personally feel they should have definitely won this by the 14th or 15th over, maybe, and with at least, if not more, 8 wickets in hand. Because, I mean, they were what, 60, 61 for one after the end of the power play. David Warner was going all guns. And I felt at that point of time that finally perhaps we are seeing, Delhi unshackle themselves, because we have seen a hint of conservatism, a slight bit of, kind of rushed kind of an approach at times, perhaps losing the game from one point where they are secured. Again, we saw that. So I think they would be perhaps disappointed that they could have closed the game a lot earlier than what they eventually managed to. At the moment, the only thing good for them is that they have got the monkey off the back. Those 2 points, they are no longer, I mean, because constantly they were being called the only winless team, the only winless team. So that changes. But I still feel that they would be extremely disappointed, because you're playing at your home ground. You know the target. Your bowlers did exceedingly well to restrict a side like KKR, which has batting depth in it, to just a very meager score like 127, and then making a meal out of it, taking it to the last over. And even there, I mean, from over number 16 to 20th, I mean, we saw so many nerves, so many moments, so many, questions being raised to the umpire, stumping chance getting missed. So yes, you feel that both the teams were perhaps not being able to hold the nerves, but Delhi would be extremely disappointed for not having closed this far earlier than they actually should have managed to.
Right. Before discussing further, let's take a look at the match summary of this match, because we know कोलकाता ने सबसे पहले बल्लेबाजी करते हुए 127 रन्स बनाए, पूरे 10 के 10 विकेट गंवाए, जिसमें सिर्फ 2 ही बल्लेबाज जो हमें दिख रहे हैं, जेसन रॉय 43 और आंद्रे रसल 38। ये दोनों ही 30 रन्स को क्रॉस कर पाए, बाकी सभी ने डिसअपॉइंट किया, ईच एंड एवरी बैटर। देन आफ्टरवर्ड्स दिल्ली के एंड से एक बहुत ही अच्छी गेंदबाजी देखने को मिली, जहां अक्षर पटेल ने 2 विकेट और कुलदीप यादव ने 2 विकेट लिए। उसके बाद दिल्ली कैपिटल्स, जो कि टॉस जीत करके इस मुकाबले पर उतरे, उन्होंने 128 रन बनाए, बेसिकली ये पूरा टारगेट चेस किया, 4 विकेट से जीते। डेविड वॉर्नर 57 रन बनाए, मनीष पांडे ने 21 रन बनाए, वरुण चक्रवर्ती 2 विकेट और नितीश राणा ने 2 विकेट लिए कोलकाता के एंड से। कौस्तव, जिस तरीके से दिल्ली ये मुकाबला जीती है, क्या वाकई इस चीज से वो लोग खुश होंगे? जैसे हम बात कर रहे थे इनिशियली प्री मैच, कैसे भी करके अगर एक जीत उनके हाथ में आ जाएगी तो उनका माइंडसेट थोड़ा चेंज होगा, एक पॉजिटिव एनर्जी फ्लो होगी। बट क्या जिस तरीके से आज दिल्ली मैच जीती है, क्या वो पॉजिटिव एनर्जी फ्लो होगी या ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस रेज होंगे?
आई थिंक डेफिनेटली होगा, क्योंकि एक जीत सब कुछ चेंज कर देता है। जैसे कि हमने मैच के बाद भी देखा कि रिकी पॉन्टिंग और डेविड वार्नर दोनों ही बहुत खुश थे। वन विन कैन चेंज एवरीथिंग, वी नो दैट इन क्रिकेट इट हैपेंस। They were struggling for quite a long time, and finally they got this win. Pratyay was rightly mentioning, the monkeys off the back now. They will try to win more matches now in order to qualify for the playoffs. Yes, they were not convincing in their victory probably, but they'll be happy with their bowling performance. I think this is good for Delhi going forward.
राइट। इसी के साथ एक बार देखते हैं टॉप परफॉर्मर्स किस तरीके से हैं फर्स्ट इनिंग और सेकंड इनिंग के। दो ज्यादा है नहीं, बट डेफिनेटली जो हमें देखने को मिलेंगे वो हम आपको जरूर बताएंगे कि किस तरीके से फर्स्ट इनिंग कही है, वो आपको एक बार दिखाते हैं। जेसन रॉय ने 43 रन बनाए, वहीं अक्षर पटेल ने 2 विकेट लिए फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में। अगर सेकंड इनिंग्स की बात करें तो वहां पर हम देख सकते हैं डेविड वॉर्नर 57 रन उन्होंने बनाए, वरुण चक्रवर्ती ने 2 विकेट लिए। प्रत्येक डीसी की बात तो चलिए एक बार को समझ में आती है, 2 पॉइंट्स उन्होंने जीते हैं तो एक पॉजिटिविटी उनके में फ्लो होगी। बट व्हाट अबाउट कोलकाता? डू यू थिंक कि कोलकाता के लिए ये एक बहुत बड़ी हार है? एक तो पहली बात आप विकेट्स नहीं ले पाए, दूसरी बात जब डीसी ऑलरेडी उनकी बैटिंग भी इतनी अच्छी दिखाई नहीं पड़ रही थी, आपके बॉलर्स थोड़े बहुत सक्सेसफुल हो रहे थे, एकदम नेक टू नेक चल रहा था एक टाइम पे, जबकि इतना लो स्कोरिंग था, स्टिल बट दे कुडंट विन इट।
Yes, I think yes, definitely, because the score was absolutely not enough. 127 is not going to be enough on any day. I mean, most of the days, the kind of batting performances we've been seeing in the IPL, it's very hard. I mean, we saw Recently, Lucknow defending 150 plus, but that was still 150. You have to give yourself at least a start to stand a chance. You have to ask the opposition to chase at least 8 or 8.5 and over. And even the 127 was thanks to the late strikes of Andre Russell in the last over, because had that not been the case of those three sixes that he managed, perhaps they wouldn't have even crossed 120 at that point of time. So, of course, they would be disappointed by that kind of score. And not just that, I think overall captaincy wise, it was a mixed bag kind of a game, you can perhaps say, for Nitish Rana, because you have to give him credit, because the way he led, the manner in which he rotated the bowlers, specifically the spinners, the four spinners bowling and making life difficult for the DC batters. I think that was a good part, but two or three things where I think that he could have done a little better. What I personally could not make a lot of sense of was sending Russell that down the order. I mean, when you are struggling to get the runs and having someone like him who perhaps he could have entered at number 5 and he could have got a first bowler. You don't know that, but you do not want to save your resources until the very end when you are in desperate need of those. And at that point of time, I felt that back making Mandeep Singh come ahead of him, Sunil Narayan come ahead of him, even Rinku Singh ahead of him, that personally did not make a lot of sense to me. And even towards the back end of the innings, I think Umesh Yadav had bowled just one over, and he was the experienced player. So giving the ball to Khejrolia, I did not could not make a lot of sense out of that move. Of course, he has great amount of experience in Delhi domestic circuit, but still, I feel that he perhaps could have given the ball to Umesh Yadav maybe, because spinners had already gone out and you had made a match out of it. I mean, at the halfway stage, perhaps you would have given 70-30 in favor of Delhi. But to be able to make a match out of it and then commit those kind of mistakes, laxity in the field, a few mistakes behind the stump as well, Nitin Das playing his first game. So there were plenty of misses. Yes, they would be happy about the fact that they managed to, just put Delhi into the zone and crush them until that point that they are getting into the last over. But otherwise, there are plenty of things that they will also have to ponder. And just on touching on the Russell point a little bit more, I think that we have seen that. I mean, yesterday with the Rajasthan Royals not promoting, Dhruv Jurel ahead of Riyan Parag, when you know that he's capable of, hitting the long ball. So I think that teams perhaps need to understand that instead of trying to be too stringent with their batting lineups or trying to, bring out the batters in specific roles that have been assigned to them, it does not hurt you if you are trying to be a little flexible perhaps and give the batters, you know that you have a batter who has that capacity to perhaps score a 20 ball 50. Even if this is not the track, there is no point saving Russell for the end. So I think had he entered, in the game a little earlier, another 10 runs, and eventually in hindsight you can feel that another 10, not even 20 or 30, another 10 runs perhaps could have well, twisted the game into Kolkata's favor. So I think that they missed the trick there. They could have perhaps sent Russell there. So yes, there will be some concerns, specifically from captaincy point of view.
Right. Costa, as we are talking about Kolkata Knight Riders batting failure. So, like, if I go by the scorecard, like I can just simply see Jason Roy scoring 40, scoring 12 runs, Russell scoring 38 runs. Rest every batter, like वो 10 mark के आगे भी कोई reach out नहीं कर पाया. क्या वाकई पिच इतनी difficult थी या situation इतनी difficult मान ली गई कोलकाता के end से आपको कहाँ कमी दिखाई दे रही है?
Immature batting, to be very honest with you. The way Mandeep Singh got out, the way Leighton thus tried to pull that shot, to an extent, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Especially again, I'll come to Mandeep. Why are you going? Why are you even trying to play that shot at that moment? Immature batting from Rinku Singh as well. I don't have much things to say about KKR's batting, but rightly, as Pratyay mentioned, I wouldn't have sent him ahead of Rinku Singh probably or Mandeep Singh, but definitely ahead of Sunil Narine. What are you thinking? Even like Russell coming to bat at number 8 when 7 batters are out, that doesn't again make much sense. Especially when he's a batter and he's not like he can help you score a lot of runs. Someone like Sunil Narine who's already struggling with the bat, why are you even considering sending him ahead of Russell? But I have seen the KKR management makes these kind of decisions that is weird to the fans, but they somehow back themselves. Like we have seen previously, this is not the first time when Russell is coming so late because they feel like they should protect Russell. But I don't think so. You need to protect Russell as such. If he's like going to go big, he will go big anyway. That again, KKR's batting did not make much sense to me. Jason Roy, the way he was playing, I know they lost 2, 3 early wickets, and that was probably the right way to play. But we were talking about David Warner strike rate ahead because Delhi were also losing wickets, and that is the reason David Warner was playing the way David Warner was playing previously. But again, you have to. Jason Roy needs to play the way Jason Roy wants to play. I don't think so. The slowing down is the solution.
Right. And if you talk about Delhi Capitals bowling as well, like they have done really really well. Wickets. Mukesh Kumar got one, Andrik Nokia got two, Aksar Patel got two, Mitchell Marsh couldn't get any, but Kuldeep Yadav got two. Pratyay, with this bowling lineup, like, do you really feel कि Delhi Capitals have really shown themselves that this year maybe उनकी bowling सारा कमाल करने वाली है और उनकी batting के जो negatives हैं, अगर उन्हें कोई hide कर सके, that is their bowling lineup only?
I think bowling has been at least more sorted than the batting, if I were to put it that way. Yes, there are issues, of course, not to say that there are not any. But if you were to pinpoint what has been the biggest letdown so far in the tournament, even in this game, it has been the batting. Because, like I said, you're chasing under 7 runs and over, 6.5. And you have the kind of batters you have and the manner in which Warner was going, you should have definitely you should have had one eye on the net run rate, because you know that in the 5 losses that you have attained in the tournament so far, you have lost by big margins. So now your aim should be to win and win big so that you can improve that net run rate of yours. Bowling wise, I think Ishant Sharma was extremely impressive, bringing all the experience to the fore. Even Mukesh Kumar, the manner in which he delivered with the new ball. Kuldeep Yadav has been impressive throughout the tournament. He has been pretty much economical, has been amongst the wickets as well. So I think bowling has not been that big a problem for them. Batting has been. But the biggest positive for me from this game was not just Warner scoring runs, the manner in which he scored. He looked like the usual self. He looked like the Warner we know him to be, because he was scoring, he was showing intent. Constantly keep on using that word, because that is the most important attribute to have as a batter in this format. If you're scoring runs but you're not scoring them at the requisite pace, those runs are all going to go in the drain. So I think the manner in which he batted, 10, 11 boundaries, trying to dominate the opponents. That is something which has been missing from the Delhi ranks throughout this leg of theirs, because you haven't seen them trying to really get dominating over the opponents. Most of the times they have been pushed onto the back foot, and they have taken the beating. So I think the best.
Okay, so Pratyay's network I think has gone already, but we can anyway continue with the kind of statement Saurav Ganguly has given. Kaustav, if I'm audible to you, then this win felt like my first test run for India 25 years ago. Happy to get off the mark. All smiles, Ganguly. What do you want to say about this statement which Saurav Ganguly has given? Because this is definitely something which Delhi really wanted.
Yeah, like we were discussing previously, that how big this win is for Delhi Capitals, and I think Saurav Ganguly's this statement particularly explains that this win is very, very, very big for Delhi, especially when they didn't win any of their 5 matches. They were struggling so badly. They were very sad to an extent, because I saw Ricky Ponting. This Ricky Ponting and Saurav Ganguly will never like losing any of the games, and they lost 5 on a row. So that is not really a good sign for Delhi. But finally, they got off today, and they'll have to back themselves now and have to rectify certain areas. I still believe they'll have certain things to solve. I think that is what Ganguly, Ponting, or any other coaching staff will have to take care of right now.
Right, it's such a huge win, Pratyay. We were discussing about Ganguly's statement, as he has said, this win felt like my first test run for India 25 years ago. Happy to get off the mark. So Ganguly की ये खुशी बता रही है कि ये जीत कितनी इम्पोर्टेंट थी दिल्ली के लिए. बट आपको लगता है कि अब वाकई में जिस तरीके से सौरभ गांगुली ने अपना स्टेटमेंट दिया है, वो कितना मीन कर रहा होगा इस वक्त दिल्ली कैपिटल के कैंप के लिए?
Definitely yes, see, because as I said, जब आप लगातार हारते जाते हैं, so it kind of makes a negative impact. It creates a negative atmosphere around you. So yes, the victory is definitely going to take at least that off. We are of course criticizing Delhi. We are being slightly critical for the simple reason that we expected them to win perhaps a lot earlier. And as I said, that the net run rate point that I was touching upon previously before I got disconnected, that you have lost by big margins, 50 runs, 8 wickets. All of these margins are very net run rate denting. And what we usually see in the tournaments is that right now, अभी जब तीसरा चौथा हफ्ता चल रहा होता है, तब टीम्स को उतनी ज्यादा शायद चिंता नहीं होती है नेट रन रेट की. But as you just progress towards the end of the tournament, the final few matches, and that time when there is a crunch in the mid-table, like third, fourth, or fifth, you are perhaps tied on points. Then when these 10, perhaps chasing a target down 10 balls earlier, or perhaps with 2 wickets more in hand than what you eventually managed, these things come back to bite you. So this was a perfect game for Delhi. They had restricted Kolkata to a very, very meager target. The bowlers had done exceptionally well, and you were playing in front of your home crowd. David Warner was really performing well. So I think, again, as I said, that the struggles of Prithvi Shaw, Mitchell Marsh again came back to bite them. And really, I mean, there is enough firepower in this batting unit, but the biggest problem is that none of them is managing to put the hand up. There are all the names that you see on the paper, and you feel that wow, this is a great lineup. But once they come into the field, they are not just being able to do justice to their names, to their price tags, to the stature that they have built. And until they start doing that, you will continuously see them struggling. So I think the biggest disappointment from the loss, having won, yes, of course, 2 points, you start feeling relieved. You are no longer winless. All of that aside, you still I mean, after the match, once now again a 4-5 day gap is there. Whenever the first team meeting happens in the Delhi management, the think tank will have to at least ask themselves a question, that why did we allow the opponent to make a match out of it when we were only asked to chase what, 6.5? A batter had got a 50 of 30-35 balls. We should have chased this down with at least 8 wickets in hand, perhaps in the 14th or 15th over. That has to be the question they have to answer. And if they have to win from here, they will not have to just win, but they will have to win big. If they are still considering their chances, they have to win, and they have to win big. So I hope that, yes, this victory will at least give them some confidence, remove the negativity around the atmosphere. But still, there will be some questions they will have to still answer and ask to themselves despite the win today.
Right. We have already discussed a lot about Delhi Capitals and Kolkata Knight Riders, but definitely they also need to think, and a lot of discussion should be happening in both the teams after this match. But let's take a look at the social tracker, like what people are discussing on social media about this particular match. So this is the first tweet. Apple CEO Tim Cook watching IPL match. This league is the biggest, and we can definitely see that. आज के मैच में जिस तरह के गेस्ट टिम कुक आए, उसके बाद में जो माहौल था, वो डेफिनेटली दर्शाता है कि आईपीएल टेस्ट मैच फील्ड इन T20, और ये हमने देखा था इनिशियली जब मैच कैरी ऑन हो रहा था, और हमने इस तरह का फील्ड सेटअप कभी आईपीएल में देखा नहीं. बट आईपीएल है, क्रिकेट है, जो ना दिखाए सो कम है. अगला यहाँ पर ट्वीट है क्रिक ट्रैकर का. डू यू अग्री विद युवराज सिंह? और युवराज सिंह ने यहाँ पर स्टेटमेंट दिया है, नॉट हैप्पी मनदीप एंड रिंकू सिंह अप्रोच इन दिस सिचुएशन, नॉट नो मैटर हाउ हाई योर कॉन्फिडेंस, यू गॉट टू कट आउट the risk to create a partnership when wickets are falling. Need to stick to one day mindset till the 15th because you have Russell coming at the end. So definitely जो कौस्तव ने बोला था, बिल्कुल वही क्वेश्चन पूछा है युवराज सिंह ने कि जिस तरीके का माइंडसेट देखा गया था, वो कुछ ये है. और एक एक वीडियो आप लोगों को दिखा रहे हैं. कांग्रेट्स डीसी फॉर द फर्स्ट विन, एंड वी कैन डेफिनेटली सी कि किस तरीके से दिल्ली कैपिटल्स खुश होगी अपनी जीत को लेकर के. वेल, ये तो थे ट्वीट्स, लेकिन एक बात देख लेते हैं पॉइंट्स टेबल किस तरीके से दिखाई पड़ रही है इस मुकाबले के बाद, कि आफ्टर ऑल मैचेस के बाद टीम्स की रेटिंग और उनकी पोजीशन क्या है. राजस्थान रॉयल्स एट नंबर 1, देन लखनऊ सुपर जायंट्स, आफ्टरवर्ड्स चेन्नई सुपर किंग, गुजरात टाइटंस, रॉयल चैलेंजर्स बैंगलोर, मुंबई इंडियंस, पंजाब किंग्स, कोलकाता नाइट राइडर्स, सनराइजर्स हैदराबाद, एंड फाइनली विद अ विन Delhi Capitals. So कुछ इस तरह की पॉइंट्स टेबल थी, कुछ ये थे डिस्कशंस. थैंक यू सो मच प्रत्यय एंड कौस्तव जॉइनिंग मी हियर इन दिस डिस्कशन. वी विल डेफिनेटली कंटिन्यू टुमारो, जब एक बड़ा मैच सीएसके और हैदराबाद के बीच में देखने को मिलेगा. डिस्कशंस के लिए हम लोग वापस से जुड़ेंगे, बात करेंगे बहुत सारा क्रिकेट के बारे में. तब तक आप देखते रहिए क्रिक ट्रैकर और इन दी एयर शो.